Welcome to Curatti on Air. Today's special guest is Paolo Fabrizio. Welcome, everybody, to Curatti on Air. I'm Cheryl Tan with Cheryl Tan Media, working in partnership with Curatti, and I'll be your host today. I'm so thrilled to introduce you to our special guests. We've got Paolo Fabrizio with Social Media Scrum, and of course, Andy Kapoloff, the COO of Curatti. How is everyone doing today?
Hi, Cheryl. Thank you for having me today. Hi, everybody.
It's great talking to you.
Doing good. And it's wonderful to see you again, Paolo.
Thank you, Andy, my friends. Good to see you.
Listen, I love what I do. I have to tell you, Andy, you're in New York. I'm in Virginia Beach. And Paolo is in Milan, Italy. So it's an international group today, and we've got some really good stuff to talk about. I want to start, though, with Paolo and just talk with you about your business and how you came to be a social customer service consultant. That sounds really cool, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I started so many years ago working many years in insurance companies in different customer service departments. I was so lucky to take part in the startup of the first direct insurance company here in Italy. It was an English one. It's called Direct Line. Maybe Andy knows it. And I was so lucky to start from the very beginning and cover so very different roles for sales, back office, customer service, claims department, complaint department, international, legal, and stuff like that. And so I was so lucky to gain a lot of expertise in different easy and complex situations, conflicts with customers, dealing with lawyers, and that's why I gained this kind of rock solid expertise on customer service. Then after 15 or 16 years in different insurance companies, I was so interested after seeing the development of call centers, and now we're seeing the decline, unfortunately, at least here in Italy. I was so interested about social media, social networks, and I saw that not only they were intended as very good social media marketing tools, but they were bound to become a new customer service channel. And that's what happened. Firstly in the United States, then in UK, and more recently here in Italy. The whole thing just started a couple of years ago, actually.
Mm-hmm. Are you surprised at all by companies that are not embracing this focus on customer service? I imagine you see the whole spectrum in what you do, but are you surprised by the companies that just kind of don't get it?
Yeah, well, I'm still surprised. I was having a very interesting phone conversation half an hour ago with a colleague of mine. She's a customer experience expert. I work on social customer service, so we got a lot of working connection together, and talking with different size brands, so small to medium, and big brands. Still, in Italy at least, many companies, many brands do not consider very much customer service. For many years, they used to consider it as just a cost, or the post-sales department. So we need to have it, but it's not so very useful. But things have changed. Technology changed it. The spreading of social media and the new behaviors by customers changed the rules of the game. Mm-hmm. So that, we're in a strange situation in which often customers are more informed than customer service departments, and they're more digitally skilled than brands.
Right. Well, I want to bring Andy into this conversation because when we talk about customer service, I think Curatti does a really good job at that, in bringing in your customers, your audience, your readers. And so I wanted to talk with you about the focus on the customer from your perspective as the COO of Curatti. Andy.
Well, for us, we are B2B mainly, so it's not directly what Paolo discusses. However, we're also small business, and small businesses it's always been a budgetary concern about how to bring social customer service in. So I've got so many questions for you, Paolo. I can't ask them all. You can't. But when it comes to small businesses for doing social customer service, love for you, this isn't about Curatti now. I would love for you to tell us why they shouldn't be concerned about cost and why that isn't really an issue now. And by all means, I will discuss the Curatti things, but this is, you're here for just one day, and I'm here every time. So,
so talking about small businesses. Well, my perspective is Italian, because 90% of my clients are based here in Italy, and especially in the north of Italy. Okay, what I can say that mainly big brands started to embrace social customer service. 3 or 4 years ago, 3 or 4 big telcos. Now, most of the telcos offer social customer service mainly via Facebook and Twitter. Then digital banks, we got some good online banks here in Italy. They did the same. And now some other big clients. So it's difficult for me to find clients that are small in size and interested in social customer service. And if they're really interested, they do not have a customer service staff dedicated. So the biggest issue is, do you have a customer service staff in your small business? Right. Because sometimes it happens to hear, no, we haven't. We just need sales department. So this is the biggest issues that I'm facing for working with small companies, talking about social customer service.
Right. So they have maybe not focused a department or a team to really delve into that. Can you talk about what good social customer service looks like in the companies that you work with? What is the ultimate right here? Like, when do you know you have a good company with a good team in place devoted to my needs as a customer? What does that look like?
Well, I think the answer could apply also for United States or every part of the world. So I think that, most of the customers, so ourselves, have very few time. Okay, we live in a society where we lack time. So time has become one of the most valuable currencies after dollars or euros. Okay, so if you're able to give very fast replies and effective, and if you're able to save customers time, and also, of course, giving solutions to the problems, you are doing a great job, not only as for customer service, but you will keep customers satisfied in the future. So those kind of very satisfied customers will not even though they will hear, competitors trying to change to Swift, they won't change because they are already so satisfied. It's not only a matter of price. It's not just a matter of 20% off or just $100 Amazon free card. Okay, this is a very short-term strategy that helps you gain new customers, but at the same speed you will lose them if you're not able to work on retention. So social customer service is a very strategic tool to leverage retention and to leverage word of mouth, and to use social networks to amplify positive word of mouth. Because whether you like it or not, customers are talking about you, even they do not talk to you directly.
Right.
So let's try to do our best so they will use positive word of mouth.
So I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Just to step things back a little, and Cheryl mentioned this before. Oh, no, actually, you mentioned it before. The traditional customer service was all post-sale.
Yeah.
And now with the social, everyone is online. Everyone has access to so many different companies that will do whatever you do. And so obviously there's content marketing as a part of it. Everything that sets you up as being apart from or better than, at least for this particular individual who's looking right now. So social customer service also, people have these questions before they even give you details, before they're willing to buy anything. You actually have to be prepared to offer customer service now. Someone has to perhaps answer questions if it's not on your blog page, if it's not in your frequently asked questions.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
There's a metamorphosis here. Could you talk about
that? That's totally true. A very good example is e-commerce. So you choose a site, you browse in it, you find the product, but you have a question, okay? And you are not able to find an answer within the site. You're looking for the chat, maybe, if the e-commerce has got a chat, but it's off. So what's the use of it? You get off, and maybe you will never come back. And you lose a sale, you've lost a sale because you did not do very good customer service before the sale itself. Mm-hmm. So that's, the typical example of the new cycle of customer service, which is not just post sales. So it's pre-sales, during sales. If it's an e-commerce, I used to sell car insurance policies on the web. Okay, and after sales, complaint, customer service, blah 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 blah, stuff like that. So it's crucial. And so any kind of business that is able to use content marketing to provide in advance proactive customer service with very good FAQ pages, not static pages. I know some providers here in Italy that you help companies to integrate also NLP and also machine learning to help those pages be enriched with all new information, or other physical help with chat or chatbots. So I always say that the best answer that you can give to a customer is the one that you didn't even have to give.
That's great. So what you're saying is have the information prepared ahead of time. So that actually is a great segue into my next question is, what is a small business to do, right? They don't have the budgets of most of the companies that you work with. What do you think they should, once they get over that mindset piece, that they have to focus on customer service for the entire time, right? So they've gotten past that. Yeah. What should they do? Do they institute a chat box? Do they put it together an FAQ? Do they have someone dedicated 24/7, or all of the above?
Well, it's easy when you have to deal with big clients, okay? Yeah. So they got a customer service culture, they got a dedicated staff. So it's just we work on integrating new channels, we work on social customer service. Sure. But I have also some smaller clients, and I do not offer them social customer service. What I work with them is to say, do you have a customer service culture, or do you still think that you just need to sell your products? So if you just need to sell your products, or you think so, I'm not the good consultant for you, because my view is totally different. I don't want to let you waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. But if you're a small business and you're struggling in retaining customers or acquiring new customers, and you realize that you need to work on customer service, I'll help you. And what I do practically is to analyze, first of all, if they have 1 people, 2 people answering customer queries. Secondly, what channels do they have for conversation? Phone, email, or just one of them? How many hours per day are able to answer? And what are, the most frequent issues? So I help those kind of small business to consult, to ask their customers what things they do appreciate the most or the worst of their current service. This is not a very happy moment for, the managing director or the marketing manager, but it's very useful because you realize that you have a problem when your customers say that that's their problem.
Right. It's like the moment of truth, right?
Yeah, the moment of truth. Yeah. And then you're able to decide what kind of tool add, change, or just cut off. So it's just the worst thing that you can do is just to add new channels like layers before analyzing the problem. Because any channel that you add, you need staff, you need time of your customer service staff to dedicate. Otherwise, I will find a very beautiful live chat with nobody on the other side, which is worse than not having it.
Right.
So something else here then. You mentioned call centers, and very often call centers are these third-party things. So what about, I have no idea how good they are, but what about the possibility of the new social customer service third-party services that are springing up? Are they something that you can talk on, and maybe that is an option for small businesses?
Well, when you say call center, whether they're inside the company or outsourced, I always think about big companies because they got the budget to outsource, for instance, 20, 50 staff answering on the phone for customer service. So especially here in Italy, it's a big brand thing.
Sure.
But, we're facing a big occupation crisis here in call centers. I still have relationships with former colleagues in direct insurance companies, and they cut maybe 200 jobs a few months ago. Oh, wow. Some others are doing the same because fewer customers get in touch to ask for a quotation or for customer service. They just do it on the brand's website because it's cheaper, because the brands taught them. Right. So maybe $500 if you call me on my call center, 15% off if you do it online. Right. So that's the way to do a perfect suicide. They started 10 years ago, all banks, all insurance companies. So that's why we're facing this kind of crisis. But at the same time, social customer service is a new opportunity for those traditional call center. We just used to deal with customer only using the phone channel. So that if you're able also to integrate digital channels like, maybe Facebook or Messenger, WhatsApp or chat, you're able to provide your staff with new skills and also to be more sexy for brands who maybe want to outsource their customer service activities, whether you're an e-commerce or you're selling Italian shoes or gluten-free food, which is a client of mine, or stuff like that. So this is a very interesting situation because people are afraid of these job losses on the call center. Those who are still working on the call centers are afraid of chatbots. Okay, so they're very afraid. But at the same time, there are very big opportunities for those internal or outsourced call centers that will invest on staff training. When I say staff training is part of my job, of course. I'm biased, of course, because I help some kinds to, let the staff get those technical and soft skill to be able to deal effectively using social networks. Because social networks are very useful if you're able to be concise and close a conversation in 2 or 3 interactions.
Right.
Otherwise, it's dangerous and not very, cheap.
Right. This is such a great conversation and really focused on the consumer. And we're all consumers of so many things. Yeah. I wanted to talk with you about, I guess, the conversations that a brand, a business, small business, a brand should have on social media, right? So how can you put yourself out there as a business that focuses on the customer first? Like, what's a marketing message and what's a customer service focused message? How can the small business entrepreneur put his or her best foot forward on social media?
Well, first of all, I have to say that most of consumers or customers use social media because they have problems. They've got issues, they've got doubts. Yeah. So you own the solution. If you're able to sell, not only to give, but to sell your solutions at the first or second interactions, you're doing great customer service with your second eye on marketing. Okay, and maybe if we're answering a prospect, we're preparing him for the sale. Okay,
right.
Trust, solution, fast, and that's the best way. That's, it's not just, okay, we're giving everything for free, 50% off. No, these are promises. These are very good ways to attract customers. But if you want to gain their trust and you want to build a solid house for your next years, not just for your next months, you're able and you can leverage any single conversation via social. So the quicker you are to answer, the more effective you are to communicate. So you need to, first of all, to be able to listen very carefully. What does the customer really mean? And be able to also tune in using his or her tone of voice. If you just prompt to just answer without, taking good attention of the question, you risk misunderstandings. You risk wasting of customers' time.
I hear what you're saying, and everyone's pet hate, I'm sure, is when you type a message, when you call, and what you get is someone on the other end who is reading from a script.
Yeah.
And they cannot veer from it, no matter what you say. If you are 3 steps ahead, they still have to keep on asking step by step based upon the script. And well, we all hate it, so why do people still do it? We've got the chance now. We've got, we're using social media for customer service now. This is the great opportunity to have a new paradigm.
Yeah, of course. Well, even on, social media interactions, one of the things that customers hate the most is the so-called robotic answers.
Yes.
Written by humans, but it's always the same. So you watch a Twitter feed, and so, thank you very much, Andy. We're looking for for that. First, second, third. They just change your name, Cheryl's name. So this is not service. This is, I think that since social customer service use these cold channels, because, when you just write and you have no voice contact, no eye contact, it's a cold channel, right? So you need to balance these cold channels with empathy.
Yes.
And empathy is not robotic answers. Empathy is trying to understand what really is trying to tell me Andy with his first tweet. Okay? And on my answer, not answering in, kind of new language called Brandalese, which is funny, but we're sorry, but our policy does not allow us to do that. No, it's the opposite of social customer service, which should be always, very informal, but at the same time, very professional. And that's the difficult balance.
I agree.
This is
so I'm not
great. Yeah.
I need to talk friendly, but I'm not your friend and you're not my friend. We talk at the same level, but I'm still your brand and you're still your customer.
Right.
So it's very difficult. So I need to be friendly. I want to be friendly, and you appreciate it. I'm not talking Brandalese. I'm not the big insurance company. Yes, I'm Paolo, and I will take charge of your problem, and I will fix it. Okay. But I won't say, I won't just write like, an old lawyer in the 60s. I will use your language, but I will still use professional language. No slang, no, we're not in a bar, okay?
Right. Paolo, one last question for me is, what happens when a company gets it right? Like when a company's doing it and everything's firing off on all cylinders and the systems are in place and people know what they're doing, what happens to a company when this is done right?
Well, usually they see very good results after 6-12 months of such, situation in terms of retention, in terms of improving staff productivity. So in the same amount of time, period of time, maybe 15 minutes, staff are able to deal with 6, 7 customers instead of maybe 1 or 2 on the phone. And if you're talking to an Italian, maybe not even 1, because we talk a lot on the phone and we tell you about our families and stuff like that. So it's very expensive channel for us. And another thing is that if you're able to really do social customer service effectively, you improve productivity and you reduce cost per interaction. A couple of years ago, McKinsey did a survey about that and showed that each customer service interaction costs 5 or 6 times less than a phone call. So we're talking about money. And if we're able to deliver it quickly and give very quick responses and very effective responses, customers will be not only satisfied, but they will be very happy maybe to buy other products or other service of the company. So when marketing and sales do their activity, after very good customer service interaction, they will say, okay, I'm ready to buy another home insurance policy, or open a new bank account or a mortgage if I need to buy a house.
Right. The best recommendation is new business, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you work on retention on your existing customers. Yeah. But at the same time, you're working on new business. Gotcha. And you prepare, the field, the rugby field. So we're talking about scrum. For your players, for marketing and sales.
Paolo, how can people get in touch with you and learn more about social media scrum? And for those who don't know what that means, maybe you can talk a little bit about that as well. How can people get in touch with you? All
right. Yes, I'm pretty active on social media. So everybody can find me on LinkedIn. So I write, on a weekly basis, new post blogs, mainly in Italian, but sometimes also in English. I'm very active also on Twitter in English and Italian. My blog, Social Media Scrum, is also made with a podcast. I've got Italian and English episodes in my podcast. And that's it. So these are and the Scrum comes from rugby, because I'm passionate about rugby, and Scrum is a specific part of the game when, the 2 teams face one another and the referee say, okay, start fighting. But I thought about this title 3 or 4 years ago when I said, okay, everybody's got social media something.it or blah, blah, blah. What can I find? And I say, well, Scrum, it's interesting because I thought about the Scrum between marketing and customer service. Mm-hmm. Who will own social media? And this is still a very hot debate.
Sure. And we've touched the surface. I mean, barely touched the surface today. So we so appreciate your time, Paolo. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Andy, as always, great talking with you as well. And we thank you for being here today. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you very much indeed, Cheryl. Thank you, Andy. It was great to see you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We hope you found today's Curatti On Air interview informative and entertaining. Look for new articles and video conversations with influencers and emerging leaders at Curatti.com. Thanks for joining us.